Basically, this question asked about what it would look like if we had no tax increase for just 1 year, this coming year, and what that would do. We addressed this at last year's budget, so if you were here, I am repeating the slide. I did not go through the calculation again. So this is showing 1819. This top line is if as you can see, the real estate tax number did not change. And on the bottom line is the number of assuming a $500,000 increase all years through. So what you're going to see is in the first year, the difference between no millage and millage, a $500,000, is a difference of $770,000. What happens the second year is, which a lot of people don't understand, so if we go another year, so either way, 1 year, which is what this question was, we would have a deficit of $770,000, and we would have to take that from fund balance, which we could do. The problem becomes that year, the next year, it compounds. So that $770,000 that you did not have revenue to meet your expenses doesn't go away, and it stays there the next year. And typically your expenses and your revenue your expenditures are going to grow greater than your revenue, and you're going to have an additional deficit of equal to that amount in most cases. So the deficit unfortunately compounds, and it doubles every year and continues to double as you don't have taxes. So what would happen is, if we did not tax in 1920, in 2021, when we went to do the budget, we would have a double deficit, and we would probably have to raise millage higher than what we had the first year to make up for that deficit. So it is the biggest answer is we absolutely can do it financially as far as what it does to the taxpayer of keeping the millage as small as we potentially can without having cliffs and large 0 to 1%, 1 millage increase back down to 0. It kind of evens out the millage versus having those cliffs. But the deficit does compound every year. And you'll see, like if we went 6 years with no millage increase, the difference in these years now becomes $4.6 million. So that amount just keeps compounding as your expenditures grow, especially if you go all the way back to my first slide where you see how dependent we are on our local revenue. The real estate taxes, whether we like it or not, is what is bringing in the additional revenue into our district in larger chunks than what we're getting from the state. This graph also shows, again, where you start out with the revenues and expenses maybe just not meeting a little bit, and how you keep going until the end. Your gap is $16 million. So you have to be very, very careful of not raising millage and then trying to make up for that the next year. It typically compounds and is worse and would require a larger millage increase.